Today on the channel, we're going to go ahead and do some way overdue maintenance and freshen up the inside of this vehicle. So stay tuned. Hey there everyone, thanks for tuning into the One Brain Four Wheels channel. It's the Gear Bear here, like always, and today we're going to go ahead and take care of some scheduled maintenance for the 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. What is it? Well, it's changing the cabin air filter. Now I know this doesn't sound very exciting, and to be frankly honest, it's not. But it's going to be exciting to me and my family because right now the inside of this car stinks to high heavens when you turn on the AC. It's not completely consistent. But definitely some days are worse than others. And what we've been noticing is that when you run the AC and the odor starts to come up, it's usually just after it's been off for a while. So like to say at the start of the day or something, and you start the car, turn on the AC, and you get this musty, it almost smells like, I kind of get like an essence of cheese or something. So I'm thinking it's like a moldy issue. I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely musty and it's gross. My family also has the same complaints about the smell, especially my mom, because this is her car, so she smells it a lot more than the rest of us. But definitely something I want to take care of. And I was kind of reading online, and this is a very common issue with these vehicles, actually. So anyone that's buying one of these, this is something I hadn't realized was a big issue. So I'm kind of broadcasting that now, is that these ACs, and even I think the Challengers I read online, and the Chargers, so the sedans, they're also having issues like this. I'm not sure if it's Dodge's, Mopar, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, whatever, the whole Fiat group, if it's something wrong with the ducting they use or what, but there's something that's trapping moisture or something, and you're getting the stank, and it's not good, especially in a car like this. It's a nice car. You don't want to bring people. I would be embarrassed if someone had to smell that besides our family. But anyhow, yeah, so just to cover some basics, I'm going to go over this, how to install this here in a minute. That's what the video is about. But just talking about the smell, we use our AC, I like to put it in auto mode whenever I drive it around, which isn't very often, but if I'm in the car, I'll usually switch it to auto, where my mom, she doesn't use auto, she just kind of sets the cold and the fan all on her own. And some people were kind of trying to mention that on different online forums about, oh, you know, maybe if you use auto mode, it's not clearing out the vents of moisture, blah, 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 blah. I don't really know, but I know that we use all the different modes. So it's not like we're using the AC system incorrectly or something. And no matter what, you know, my Corvette is just a couple months younger than this. And I use the auto mode in that and, you know, play around with the AC, and I don't have any issues like this. So my hopes with changing the cabin air filter is that that scent is going to go away. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start cracking at this. Just some general information. You can get this at a parts store. I got it at AutoZone. I think it was like 14 bucks. And this actually resides behind your glove box. Let's go ahead and get started with that. And then one more thing I almost forgot is I was reading online, and on one thread on a forum, people were saying that this scent issue with the AC was particularly common in diesels. I'm not sure why that would matter if you had a diesel, how that would affect the AC, but if it does, then other people with diesels, you can go ahead and comment below and say, hey, I had this issue. And if you don't have a diesel, but you still have a stinky AC in your Grand Cherokee, please let me know in the comments as well, because I'd kind of like to document this actually with other people and see, is this specifically with the diesel engine, what's up with that, or is this really a broad problem with Mopar products? I'd be very curious to know that. But yes, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so step one is go ahead and open up the glove box, and I need to go ahead and take this little loop off of the glove box side there. So there's the front of the glove box here, and then this little guy just keeps the glove box from having all that pressure fall down and putting stress on the hinge. So I'm going to go ahead and just unloop that now, just like so. It really does, it hooks right onto that thing, so I'm not going to really need to show you guys that. It's pretty simple. And then just let that retract back, and we'll go ahead and get that later. Alright, so now that we have that support string disconnected on the side there, the next step is on each of these sidewalls inside of the glove box, there's a little kind of support, not a support pin, but like a stop pin. It's plastic, and it looks like this, kind of coming off the sidewall there, and like this on that side. And it sticks up here, and it just keeps the glove box, it's the stopper like that. See, that's what it's hitting right now. You guys can't see it, but that's what's happening. That's what's actually applying the stop. So all you have to do is, on each sidewall, push in a little bit towards the center of the glove box, and it's going to release that pin. So I'm just going to go like this. And I don't know if you guys kind of saw, but it nipped down a little bit. So I'm going to go on this side, and we're going to push in. Is it going? Maybe? Maybe not. Alright, so it's a little hard to show you guys with one hand when I was actually doing it, so let's just go ahead and review real quick. So this tab here, and this tab on the driver's side, which is set back a little bit further, those were those support tabs I was trying to talk to you guys about, where you need to pull in on the sidewall of the glove box a little bit to go ahead and disengage those from the plastic little retaining holes that are on each side of the glove box insert. So now that we have this out of the way, and by the way, so the hinges themselves actually are just these little rounded plastic bits that kind of sit onto those little sitting little spots for them. So when you go ahead and disconnect the tabs on the actual glove box, then the glove box itself just keeps kind of falling down, and it just slides right out of those, because it's not actually a hinge, but rather just kind of like a rocking point, 3 rocking points for the glove box. But now we have access to our air filter. Alright, so now the glove box has been removed, we can actually come up and under, and if we tilt up, you guys can see right here, this is the door for the air filter. So there's a little tab here, you guys can see it looks different than the rest of the door. Just go ahead and pull out on that tab, and if it's your first time changing this, actually it looks like it's still doing it, because I just kind of tried this before. There's a little tab kind of running across the top too, but there's no release for it. So you kind of just have to, you're going to feel like you might be breaking this plastic, but you have to tug harder, and there you go. That is your air filter. So when you want to put this thing back on, you'll notice this is the end that goes on that end, and there's 2 little tabs back there. So go ahead and hook these guys on first by sliding it back and kind of hooking on the tabs. You'll see it in your own car, and it'll make sense, I think. But yeah, you want to go ahead and click on those back ones first, then slide this back on and kind of rotate it to the front and click it in. But anyhow, we have our air filter, so let's go ahead and pull that guy out. But it's kind of getting an end. There is no like pull tab for it, but just kind of wedge your finger in an end and pull it out. And let's see how gross it looks. Let me do this with one hand, and I'll show you guys here in a minute. Well, I just opened up the new air filter, and I realized it actually came with a little instruction sheet. I guess this must be the only use for this air filter is Dodge Durango and Jeep Grand Cherokee, which are like the same car, or SUV, I should say. But yeah, so to make it a little bit easier to get that door out, they actually mentioned how to get this tray out, which I didn't realize I needed to remove that. I mean, I didn't, obviously. But it says just go ahead and pull down and out. And what it is it's got 2 little tabs on the side. That just flew. Anyhow, it has 2 tabs on the sides, and then 2 that kind of pull out from the back. So I think if we just pull it, just pull each end forward. Oh, there we go, it just came right out. So you can kind of see the tab there on the side, tab there, right there on the side, and these 2 in the back that go to those holes up there in the back, right above where the air filter goes in. So now we removed that. So remove that first, it'll make it a little bit easier for you. So anyhow, I have the old air filter sitting right here, and what I noticed is that Jeep actually supplied from the factory a charcoal filter, and I'm noticing that the STP one I just bought, which by the way feels extremely cheap and really barely a filter, so I'm not sure if I'm really a fan of the STP right now. But I guess that's what you should expect for 13 or 14 bucks. This is just a regular paper filter, no charcoal in it. So I'm already feeling like this is not going to last nearly as long as the original one. And I'm not even sure if it's going to make the smell worse. If the smell's not just a dirty filter, but if it's something else, then this is not going to be filtering the air nearly as well as that would have been. Although I don't know if that charcoal, it might be kind of worn out by now, so we'll see. I'm still going to go ahead and pop this in, and we'll see if it makes a difference. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised at the OEM one. It's much heavier because it's got the charcoal in it, and it just feels really solid and nice, and probably should have been working well. So I'm kind of thinking the stink might be a bigger issue. But let's go ahead and pop in the new filter, put all this back together, and wrap this video up. Okay, and after reading the instructions for the new filter once again, I just want to make sure you guys make note, because I didn't know how to redo this right now. But the arrows need to be pointing down on this air filter. We kind of go over here. It says right down there. Replace cabin air filter, arrow pointing down. So I went ahead and did that. Don't know if it really makes a big difference, but I did. So now there's no excuse. This should work. This should work. So yeah, now that everything's kind of wrapped up with this project, I did want to go ahead and look at the old filter once again, just to kind of see what was going on. And, you know, if we kind of like get in here a little bit, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like definitely a lot of dust and it's kind of nasty looking stuff in there. You can see it's definitely, you know, been doing its job. You know, over the last 2.5 years we've owned this car, we've put on about 30,000 miles now. And so, you know, this thing is getting pretty filthy. I'm not sure if the dealer has scammed my family out of getting them to change this thing out, probably for $100 or something. But I'm imagining that this is still the original one. This one looks like a good choice. Visual though. You can kind of see, yeah, look how disgusting that is. There's like a little bug in there. And if I go ahead and flip this guy around, let me give this guy a little whiff. Actually, it kind of does have a little bit of that scent. It's not... It definitely smells. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. Ugh. I'm smelling all this filth that we've been driving around in for the last, you know, couple of years. It definitely has an off odor, which you would expect from a dirty filter. It's not as sour and disgusting as when it comes through the air vents on full blast, which I thought this would be like concentrated stink. So that's what I'm thinking, is that I wonder if this smell is coming from somewhere else. I really hope there's nothing dead in there. But since other people have reported a stinky smell issue with their Grand Cherokees, I'm thinking that this is not like necessarily like a dead mouse or something in the car. Because I feel like I would smell that all the time. Yeah, I don't know, but that does stink, so I hope this works. But yeah, so I hope you guys found this little quick tutorial helpful. It was definitely a good learning experience for me. I don't think I've ever actually had to change a cabin air filter before, because for the longest time I just had my Suburban. I don't think that car has one. The Corvette, like I said in the beginning of the video, you know, it's kind of one of those things where if there's not a problem, then it's not really a necessity to change it. And my Corvette still smells nice and fresh on the inside, so I haven't changed it, and I don't plan on changing anytime soon because it looks like it's working fine. It smells like it's working fine. But this was a good learning experience for this car because it needed it. And you know, like I said, anyone could do this. This took me, all in all, I was trying to make the video at the same time, so it's kind of a little bit more irritating, you know, having to try to get the good angles and whatnot. But I don't know, I've probably been out here for like 25 minutes doing this video. In reality, it should only take you 15 minutes max your first time, and every time after that, like when I had to redo it because I put the filter in the wrong way, it took me literally like less than 5 minutes, so this was nothing. But yeah, if you guys really found the video helpful, or if you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. The channel would really appreciate it. The channel's on a person, but it'll appreciate it. It helps get my videos more views, which will bring in more viewers, and really just help spread all the information and tutorials and things that I do to more people, a bigger audience. So I would really appreciate that. And yeah, if you want to see more tutorials on simple things like this, or little things that I do to the rest of my cars, including the 77 Eldorado, the 2003 Suburban, my 2016 Corvette, which I think most people are watching, and of course my family's 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee, then subscribe to the channel, One Brain, Four Wheels. And until next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. And go ahead and comment below, like I said earlier in the video, if you've been getting a weird stink in your AC, in your Jeep Grand Cherokee or Durango, and what you did to fix it if you did. And if you don't have a smell, go ahead and say that too. And really, if anyone else has a car, if you're looking into these cars and they have another car, maybe they've had a little stinky issue, what else did you guys do to get rid of the smell? I'm thinking maybe I could just like Lysol the inside of the vents or something if this doesn't work. Fingers crossed. But anyhow, you guys take care. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. This should pop out. Or not. God damn, they make everything complicated.